Hi guys, this is the Missell job, and I'm going to try to work with the pictures that I have. We're going to be trenching out along the bottom of this hill, following the swale. So it's going to come all the way across the bottom of this hill. This is in the backyard, looking towards the backyard, and it's going to sort of wrap around. And at the bottom of the hill, when we trench it out, we're going to put in trench drains. Um, And then when you get to the end of the hill, you're going to switch over to 4-inch buried pipe that's going to run all the way out into the yard. So trench drains in this area, switching over to, when you get to the end of the hill, switching over to making a turn and switching over to 4-inch smooth wall pipe. I'm gonna sort of go back and I gotta find the right pictures here to this is from the hill looking towards the house. Keep in mind that this is a buried oil, natural gas tank here, and the hookup is right here on the house. So there's going to be a line running across here. I believe they're getting it located, but you can't. You're going to have to watch out, hand dig around this when you work over at the house. But that trench that I was talking about goes like this and wraps around, and then it kind of ends right about there with the trench drain, switches over to 4-inch pipe and runs down into the front yard. So, and it's running towards this pole, in the direction towards this pole. We're going to take it. I don't know why this isn't working so great today, but we're going to take it. We're going to take it down here and daylight it somewhere adjacent to this wood pile over here. Keep in mind, it looks like this is where their electrical service comes into the house, and the meter's on the front of the house. So you're going to have to hand dig when you get to this point in here. The next phase of the project is that we're going to be trenching along the house here and putting trench drains in, and then backfilling on top with soil and creating a little bit of a fall away from the house. And I think there's, I can get you a better picture of that. You can see from this angle, this is the rear of the house. So we're trenching along here. We are building up the soil a little bit and having it fall away from the house. We're going to run it out and run a line out and tie it into that 4-inch line that's heading down into the front of the yard. On the corner here, so on there, I believe there's a downspout. There's a downspout on the corner of the backyard over here. So this is the side of the house. So that line will run out and tie into your 4-inch line, but you have to tie that downspout in. There's 2 sump pump lines. There's one back here and one back here. Those have to get tied in. And then there's a downspout line here on the front of the house that runs out. Weird, this thing isn't working too well. It's going to run out to that 4-inch main line. So everything around the house along the back and in the front here is going to tie into that main line that swoops around and heads towards the front. Let me see if I can go to the front of the house. So on the front of the house, this is where it starts. There are 3 window wells that we're going to be replacing with higher window wells so we can build the grade. So you can see one here, and one here on the other side near the step. Those are the 3 window wells. In addition to that, you'll see in the description that we're going to be digging about 3 or 4 feet away from this. We're going to be digging a deep pit here, and it's going to be like an unofficial dry well. We're not going to use the flow well, but we're going to line this pit with filter fabric, fill it with drain stone, to within 6 inches of the surface. In the bottom of this window well, there's a drain line. We might have to replace it. We'll have to put a small drain basin in there and run a pipe just into this drain field that we're creating. So any water that builds up in this window well will go into that drain line in the bottom of the window well. This has got to be down about 2 feet maybe, and go into the bottom of our pit, and then the pit can fill up with water. We're going to put soil back on top of the pit, so we're going to wrap the filter fabric on top of the drain stone, fill 6 inches of soil, and then get grass in there. Also, we're going to be putting soil in to build the grade along the entire front of the house here, so we can have some slope away. It's probably only going to be about 6 inches high, 6 or 8 inches high along the house. And that's something that was added later. What you see here is the left side of the house. There's a downspout on this end. There's a downspout on this end. We're simply going to be connecting to that downspout, trenching and running the pipe over, connecting this downspout, continuing that pipe under the walkway and about 20 or 30 feet into the yard, and then just discharge through a speedy basin. And then we're just going to be backfilling this with soil to try to get a little bit of a slope away from the house and stabilize it. So I think, there's one thing I didn't mention. When you do the trench that runs along the backyard here, you're also going to be putting in 3 12-inch drain basins that equally spaced. So any water coming down this hill can drop into those drain basins as well. Hopefully that's not too confusing. The description is pretty good in the contract, so have a look at that and let me know if you have any questions.